So the film or movie starts in a dense jungle, where some villagers are preparing for a ritual. This was 15 years ago. These people are doing a ritual to make a dangerous power happy, because that power, that demon, wants to destroy their village. Now that power started screaming. His voice was like a wolf crying, and then the ritualist got sick, and he fell down surprised. He died on the spot seeing this. The rest of the villagers got very scared and started running away when the two men went to the river. There was a man sitting there now. When he turned around, his face was very strange, which becomes like a wolf. As soon as you see it now, there was a loud scream here, and this scene shifts here and comes to a hotel actually. This whole story was being told by a blind man sitting there hearing this. The child starts crying out of fear seeing this. The hotel waiter slaps the blind man and scolds him, that madman. Do not scare the child so late at night. Stop your story, to which the blind man says, this is not a story. It is the truth. It was raining heavily outside, because of which a drama group of people had stayed in this hotel, that girl and her mom too. Now the inspector and some police officers come here because they had arrested a dangerous killer from the jungle whom they had brought with them. The inspector tells everyone that as long as this killer is kept in this hotel, no one will go out of here. One man tells the other that I have heard that this killer is a very dangerous man. He also does magic. Now, apart from the inspector and the constable, all the other officers go out of the hotel for security. The inspector tells everyone that if you try to help the killer, then I will kill you all along with him. Hearing this, everyone got scared, that because of the rain. Where are we stuck now? This hotel was exactly at the same place as the story was being told by the blind man, that is near the lake, and across the lake was the village. Ignoring this, the drama group people tell that we have come to make a drama in the same village. Then the D of the drama group says that the blind man's words are quite right. There was no human wolf there, but there was a man whose name was Chang. He had married a woman who was a witch. Then the head of the drama group tells a story, which was the story of those 15 years in the village. We see Chang, who used to sell household items and gamble, but often lost. He had taken money from the rich dangerous man of the village, and now on not returning the money, he had come down to take his life. So to save his life, Chang tells him that please leave me, I will return your money in 2 days, on which the dangerous man laughs and says, oh okay, now in 2 days okay. But if the money does not come in 2 days, then I will cut all your fingers. Then a boy named Hoyan comes here, who had come to return his last money. Then a man tells Chang that he also had a lot of debt on him, but now he has also paid off all his debts, and now he is also very rich. Hearing this, Chang was very surprised that he was poor like me. He used to gamble. Then suddenly, how did he get so much money? We will have to find out the truth. With the same thought, he follows Hoyan and sees that he was digging a grave. Then at the right time, Chang comes there and says to him, oh, so you are such a rich man, you steal the jewelry of the dead inside the grave by selling it. You pay off your debt. Wait a minute, I'll go and tell everyone. Hoyan stops him and says, stop, don't do it, okay? Listen to me, if you keep your mouth shut, then I will pay off your debt, and I will also include you with me. Do you agree? Now when Chang said yes, then he tells him to dig a pit. By digging it, he comes down to a cave. Now Chang was very surprised to see this place, but Hoyan knew about this place well. There were strange yellow roots here, whose skin was looking smooth from those roots. A very big wolf's head was coming out, whose size was very big, and he was rolling. Seeing him, Chang's condition worsened, but Hoyan tells him not to worry. I had heard a man's words, according to which we will get gold here. Now he was standing at the high place near the wolf. Hoyan had brought an animal's leg with him to eat the wolf, which he ties with the chain and takes near his mouth. Hearing the mask, the wolf opens his mouth. Hoyan put the animal's leg in his mouth, but he started eating it with the chain. Now Hoyan tightens the chain but the wolf had squeezed it in his teeth. Seeing this, Chang puts the burning stick in the wolf's mouth. Now, as soon as he was hurt, he opened his mouth, and then the animal's leg also comes out with the chain, but there was a lot of shiny liquid on it, which surprisingly was of gold. Then Huyan picked it up and started running, behind which Chang also runs, but now suddenly all the torches burning there turn yellow to green. Seeing this, Huyan closes his eyes and tells Chang to close his eyes quickly. Don't go out of the cave now, otherwise she will catch you. Now Chang had closed his eyes, but he asks her, "Who will catch you?" But Huyan doesn't say anything, because he ran away from there. Chang felt a shiver in his back. He turned around and saw when he touched it. He found out that it was a girl's waist. That's why Chang opened his eyes, where there was a beautiful girl in front of him, but the very next moment her face changed, and she becomes a wolf now, as soon as he closed his eyes. Chang finds himself in a palace where there were a lot of monsters sitting, whose faces were like wolves. One of them says that we have been sleeping peacefully for years, but he came and ruined our peace. Give us permission. We will kill him, on which the king agrees. But here Chang begs in front of him and begs for his life, that please leave me. I made a mistake, on which the master says, okay, if you love your life, then you will have to marry a wolf of our family. Now Chang had no other way to escape. That's why he agrees, and he married that wolf and brought her to his village. But here his face was full of sadness at that time. The head of the drama group was also present there, who was sitting in the hotel and telling everyone a story. He says that later he found out that the wolf was a witch with whom Chang had married. Now Blind is happy to hear this, that my story turned out to be true, and here the story of the head of the drama group was completed. Now he starts blabbering, says that the head of the blind and drama group has told his story. Now it's my turn. You can get the truth from my story, saying which he started telling the story 15 years ago. A minister was going to that wolf village with his master, but when he reached there was no one in the village. There were only two places left to stay there, a hotel and a small house. These people started going inside the hotel, but then the master realized that there was some evil power here, and he starts looking at the crowded sheep and goats very carefully. Then when he came inside, there were some people sitting there who welcomed them. Then the owner of the hotel cooked a whole goat for these people, and he was no one else but Chang, but his face was not like ordinary people. In fact, it was yellow. Now an old man says that we will not be able to pay for such a big goat, on which Chang says that, who is asking for so much money? You just give me the money to cook, and I am not asking you anything. Hearing this, everyone was very happy that we will eat the goat deliciously, that too in less money. Now Chang gives them a special kind of milk to drink. The master asks that the villagers are not visible. Where did everyone go? On which Chang tells that actually there was a dangerous disease in our village, so everyone left the village and started living far away. Now only me, my wife, and my son live here, because of which the goat started eating. But here, the master does not touch the food himself, and neither does he let his minister eat. In fact, both got up and came out. This minister asks him, "Master, I am very hungry. Why are you not giving me food?" The master replies that you wear your face cover inside and look around, and you will know everything. Then the minister looks inside the window, so everything seemed normal, that everyone was eating goat. When he wore a cover and saw seeing the reality, he lost his mind. Actually, what those people were eating was not a goat, but human flesh. He then looks out of the cupboard, where sheep and goats were tied, but surprised they were not sheep and goats, but humans who were tied here like sheep and goats. The master tells him that there is a dangerous force here from which we have to save this village and its people. Saying this, the master recites some mantras and blows on a sword, and he gives it to the minister, saying, the danger here is a demon who eats human flesh because it makes him powerful, and today we will finish him." As soon as the master's words were fulfilled, the minister felt a pain in his back, so he took a small sword and tried to kill him. But he suddenly stopped, because he was a police officer who was sitting inside and eating. The master says that he must not have drunk that special kind of milk of the hotel. Hearing this, the officer was quite shocked. "How did you know?" Then the master also shows him the truth by wearing a face cover. Yes, the villagers looked like sheep and goats, but actually they were humans who were being pulled by the leg and taken with them. The master says that Chang is not the real demon, he is just his slave, and now we have to find the real demon. So the three reach that house and search everywhere, after which they came to the basement where Chang's son was standing in front. As soon as he sees him, he says some mantras and opens his mouth and sends a dangerous smoke towards them. Seeing this, the master does not get scared, but by his magic, he makes a death shield and faces every attack of him, after which Chang's son becomes a statue, and these people take care of him and come to a room where blood, flesh and such cut pieces were lying at one place. Chang was also standing, who was holding a knife in his hand, and he was reciting some mantras. The police officer gets angry at him, "That you killed all the villagers, that's why I'm arresting you." Now suddenly Chang starts talking in the voice of a woman, by which the master understands that he is not anywhere else but inside Chang. Hearing this, the officer shoots Chang on the forehead and buries him there, and says that if there is a demon inside him, then what happened? The police are not even afraid of demons, but suddenly Chang gets up and stabs the officer in the forehead and takes out a lot of black liquid from his mouth and stands up as a row of liquid. Seeing this, the master understood that this is the demon. That's why as soon as he came to attack them, the master started fighting him, and here the minister could not fight because the demon had picked him up and thrown him. Then to save his life, he expels the minister and started fighting the demon alone, and now a dangerous fight between the master and the demon breaks out. As the demon comes to attack with his dangerous powers, the master easily stops his attack and hits him with the wall. For a while, their fight went on like this, after which a loud bang came, and the master fell out. The master's condition was very bad in the minister's lap. Seeing them like this, the minister is very sad. The master tells him that that demon has 5 skins, of which I've only been able to destroy 3, only 2 are left, but those skins will take 5 years to heal. For now, the demon has run away, but will return after 15 years. Then you will have to fight him and finish him. So use the mantras and rituals that I taught you well, they will be useful. Saying this, the master gives his life in his hands, and the minister takes him in his lap and starts crying. The scene came back to the killer, who was telling the story. It was found that the minister was no one else but the killer, who shouted and said that I've been waiting for this day for 15 years, because that demon, who is actually a demon in the crowd, will come today. Hearing this, the police officer says, why should we believe you? The killer says in response that only I can fight him. Now suddenly lightning falls, with which the cry of the wolf starts coming along with that. Some mantras were also being heard. The voices were coming from the statue in front. The killer says, "Open my handcuffs. I want to fight him now." The inspector also started believing his words. That's why he starts opening the handcuffs. But then that woman cries and shouts and says, "Stop, don't open it. He is lying." In anger, the killer says, "Don't listen to him, because this is that demon. He is not a sheep." Hearing this, the police officer puts a gun on him. So here, she also starts telling her story. She says that our village was in a very bad state. There was so much poverty that there was nothing to eat or drink, because of which people were dying. Then, seeing the situation of the village, the elders decided that we get some masters to perform rituals here, so that if there is any bad thing in the village, they run away, and the situation here gets better. One of those masters was this killer, and the twin Shanky is talking about. He was from our village, but neither was he poor nor a Jawa. He was a bad person in fact. He was a very good-hearted person. He helped everyone in the village. He gave grains to people to eat in the state of famine. I am saying good to him, because he helped me too one day when he was distributing grains. Then Huyan came to him crying and said, "Please help me. My mother is sick. I need money for her treatment." Hearing this, Chang's brother said, "Brother, give this grain, but don't give a rupee. You don't know. He is a #1 Jaoer on this." Chang says, "No, my brother. Who can lie in the name of mother?" Saying this, he gave a lot of money to Huyan. The woman crying says that he was so good to everyone, but this killer was a very bad master. He did not do well with Chang. Now hearing this, all the people sitting there think which one of them is telling the truth and which one is lying. Whom should we believe now? There is a crowd outside, with whom the sound of the song also starts coming. The inspector came out quickly and asks his people, "Did any of you sing a song on this?" He says no. Now the inspector started feeling scared. That's why he hands the gun to the woman and says that you are that demon. She cries and said, "No, I am not a demon. Woman, don't do anything to me, and don't open the killer at all." Now the constable goes to handcuff him, but then something started happening to him, and he fell down. Now the killer tells everyone, "Have you seen? This is the demon, and now she will kill everyone." On which she cried again and said, "No, no, I am not a demon." Now the inspector does not know what happened. He opens the killer's chain and picks up his gun. He shoots the police officers and kills them. Constable, he had a stroke. He also starts shooting his colleagues with a gun. Seeing this, the rest of the people lost their minds. Now the inspector and the killer together scold a police officer who was about to die. He says that you should have accepted our plan. Saying this, inspector reveals a secret here. At that time, when the inspector and those officers were taking the killer, he talks to the killer that I will make a deal with you. All the money you want to give us, give me all that, I will leave you. And their deal was finalized, according to which the inspector had to bring the killer to the hotel. Here the inspector, the killer, and the one who had a stroke, the constable, were together, who shoots the rest of the people of the hotel, the people of the drama group, and the woman, and everyone. Only the blind man and the girl do not do anything. Now the killer comes to the blind man and says that he is a demon, and he killed everyone here. Now only we are left here. On which the blind man started talking again, that I had already warned everyone, but no one heard me. So now it is found that there is no demon or ghost here. In fact, these are the rumors spread by the killer. Now the killer went to the woman who was counting her last breaths. She starts crying and remembers what happened. Shan Cun was helping the villagers by giving grains and other things if someone needed it. He would have given the money, but instead of doing good to such a person, instead of thanking him, the villagers started taking advantage of him. They had become lazy by leaving their work. Now here a rich man was beating a Jaoer. The Jaoer was no one else but the killer. He had taken a loan from a rich man. He tells the killer that if the children do not return the money in 5 days, then I will give death. Hearing this, Huyan went ahead to help the killer. He tells the killer that let's go to Shan Cun. He is fool. He makes an excuse and takes money from him, but when he went there, it was not Shan Cun, but his brother who pushed him and sent him, because he knew that these people take undue advantage of my brother's mercy. Now although Shan Cun was so good to everyone, but still the villagers were angry with him and his family, and tonight they start making strange things about him, that where did Shan Cun get so much money? And it is heard that since he got married, he has become rich. Since then, his wife is also very beautiful. Huyan and the killer make a plan. The next day he came to Shan Cun's house after buying a sedative and meets the girl who works here and tells her to do a job for us. We will give you a reward for it. You just mix this medicine in the food of Shan Cun's wife and his son. Now this girl is no one else but the same woman who is remembering her time in a wounded state. Now she was very scared. That's why she clearly refuses to do that. But Huiyun knew that she loved Shan Cun in her heart. That's why he tells her that you will lose your life from his wife, and then Shan Cun will be yours, only yours. Hearing this, she got misled and gets ready to do their work. Just this small mistake was a big mistake for her now. As soon as she realizes her mistake, she breaks her breath seeing her mother dying. The girl starts crying. The killer wanted to kill the girl, but the inspector stops him by saying that if she tells anything to anyone, then no one will believe her, because it is obvious that she is a girl now. The inspector goes to shoot the blind, where this time, the killer refuses him, and says that if he dies, then who will spread the stories of the demon everywhere, because we can be saved. Because of such stories, the villagers will not doubt us. In fact, the story of the demon will have to be spread, otherwise we will spread like this. In the meantime, the boat also came to take them. When people were going in the boat, then the inspector asks the killer that you did such a big job 15 years ago, so tell me what you did with Shan Cun's wife and his child. Then the killer tells the next thing that after making his wife and child unconscious, we kidnapped them and took them to the jungle. We wanted to ask Shan Cun for a heavy price instead of returning them, and this was our plan. But on the way, Shan Cun started trying to do wrong with his wife, but at the right time his wife came to her senses. He kicked Shan Cun hard, and he started running away with his child. Then Shan Cun also started following him. When Shan Cun found out that his wife and child were missing, then he thought that the group of hunters had taken them, so he went to the poorhouse and started asking people for help. He begs them to come with me and save my wife and child, but no one was ready to come with him. Seeing this, his brother says in anger, "What old people are you asking for help? Let's go by ourselves." But there were 4 or 5 good people here who were ready to help, and now everyone goes towards the jungle. And the next day, Shan Cun's wife and son started looking for them. Then they both fall down running. When Shan Cun tries to kill his wife by holding her neck, the killer explains to Shan Cun that please don't kill her, we only care about money. But he doesn't stop. He keeps strangling her neck. Shan Cun's wife shouts, which Shan Cun's brother heard. So he comes here and starts beating Shan Cun, but here they both beat Shan Cun. Meanwhile, Shan Cun's wife is also killed, and with this, the sound of the wolf starts coming from there. At this time, the villagers were doing rituals in the jungle, and this is the starting scene. Hearing the sound of the wolf, these people started running out of fear. Now 2 of them see the killer and Shan Cun, that they have killed Shan Cun's wife, and Shan Cun's brother was also beaten badly. Both of them got very scared. They raised their hands and stood there. Then the group of hunters also came here, whose chief puts a gun on Shan Cun's head. Now here, Shan Cun also tells him to make a deal with us. Don't tell anything to Shan Cun, but we will ask him a lot of money. Now here the chief knew that Shan Cun is a very merciful person. He is very good. That's why he refuses to support him. Now then, Shan Cun's son bites Shan Cun's arm. Shan Cun picks up the child and throws it away, due to which the child also dies. Now seeing this, Shan Cun's brother became furious. That's why he takes Huiyun and goes to the pit below, and now only the killer was left alive. He tells the chief that now Shan Cun will not leave me alive. That's why include me in your group. But the chief calls him coward and starts going from there. Then the killer snatches his gun and shoots a man and says, "What did you say, coward? Did you see? I am not a coward." But the chief ignores him and takes his group and goes from there. Now only one of the ritual men was left. That's why the killer catches him and says that you will tell the villagers that Shan Cun's wife, his son and brother were killed by a demon. If you take my name, I will kill your family. Why? And now it is clear that this man spread this rumor everywhere, that the demon has killed everyone. The blind man used to tell his story to everyone, and now the killer also kills the chief of the hunters, and instead of he becomes the chief here. The killer's words were fulfilled. After hearing everything, the inspector praises him that, wow, if there is a plan on which the killers say, "Yes, still my plan could have failed, rumors could have been proved false, but what is this acting that your constable did as a fake cyst?" First he made a sound, then sang a song. His acting will really have to be praised. After hearing this, the constable is surprised and asks, "Who did it?" "I didn't do anything like that." Now both the inspector and the killer are surprised to hear this. If he didn't, then who sang the song? They were thinking that only then the sound of the song starts coming again, and that too not from far away, but from this boat. Now, though he's standing there who was wearing a cap, he removes his cap, who was none other than Chang's brother. Yes. He fell in the valley, but he didn't die. He survived, who was looking for the killer for 15 years, and today he was caught by him. This was the song sung outside the hotel. He had planted a bomb in this boat. As soon as he breaks it, he jumps into the water. There was a big explosion in the boat, and the three of them die a very bad death. In the next scene, we see Chang's brother in his village. A girl pulls Chang's brother towards her. So like this story, you are safe from the rumors, and with this, the story of this movie ends here. Thank you.